What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Welcome Week 12 Fantasy Football. Today we're talking about our quick and dirty top 30 wide receivers for Week 12. To get our lineup set here for this week, and the Thursday night game has already been played, so those guys will not be in those rankings. Plus, if you're looking for more detailed information on these players, head over to our Start Sit videos. That's where we break them down a little bit more. This is just meant to be our quick and dirty top 30, and we're getting into the wide receiver position right now. All right, number one is going to be Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints. Great matchup going up against the Carolina Panthers this week. And Michael Thomas has already proven that he is a man on a mission and cannot be messed with here in 2019. Have him at wide receiver 1 again this week. Number 2, Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons, going up against the poorest secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I expect them to be throwing the ball a lot now. Julio has popped up on the injury report late here. I believe he's still going to be able to play, but just something to monitor right now. Have him at wide receiver 2. Number 3 is Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going up against the Atlanta Falcons. I have Godwin a little bit higher than Evans this week. The defense has been playing better for the Atlanta Falcons, and if they try to take away Mike Evans, there's no way they can also contain Chris Godwin. Have his upside a little bit higher this week in Week 12. Have him at wide receiver 3. Number 4, it's going to be Tyler Lockett, Seattle Seahawks, in a great matchup going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Had a scare with Tyler Lockett 2 weeks ago before their bye week, but luckily he escaped major injury and should be good to go once again here this week. Going up against the Philadelphia Eagles secondary, they should be able to utilize him all game long. Got Tyler Lockett, number 4. Number 5 is going to be Odell Beckham, and this is probably where I piss a lot of people off and create a lot of comments down below, but that's okay. Yes, I know the guy has underperformed for weeks, but he's just barely missing some big plays on a weekly basis, and now they get the Miami Dolphins. It's not like this offense has been cruising all season long, so if they can get a rhythm going, I don't expect them to let off the gas. I can see them pushing the ball down the field all 4 quarters. Odell Beckham could be a breakout game for him here. Got him at wide receiver 5. Number 6, Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Already talked about Chris Godwin. He still has that crazy, huge upside. One of these wide receivers that can win you your matchup on a weekly basis. You have to make sure he's in your starting lineup. Got him at wide receiver 6. Number 7, Devante Adams, Green Bay Packers. Tough matchup going up against the San Francisco 49ers and more than likely Richard Sherman. But this guy has, seen double-digit targets both games back from his injury. Coming off the bye week, a chance to prep for this game. Should be healthy, should be rested, should be good to go. Devante Adams, wide receiver 7. Number 8 may be a little bit of a surprise to some people, but I really like the upside of Calvin Ridley with no Austin Hooper and Devontae Freeman in this offense. They already have that great matchup going up against Tampa Bay. And I mentioned that Julio popped up on the injury report late this week. If there's a chance that he's limited somewhat on Sunday, who immediately benefits? It's Calvin Ridley, and he had a great game last week. Saw what he could do with some added volume. Have Calvin Ridley all the way up at number 8. Number 9, DJ Chark, Jacksonville Jaguars, had a little bit of a scare. He popped up late on the injury report, but he practiced fully here on Thursday and should be good to go on Sunday. Going up against the Tennessee Titans, not a pushover of a defense by any means, but we saw a season high in targets for DJ Chark last week, and that really shows that Nick Foles, he's out there looking for him. That gives him a safer floor, and we already know the touchdown upside is there. DJ Chark's wide receiver 9. Number 10, Julian Edelman, New England Patriots. Yeah, somewhat of a difficult matchup going up against Dallas, but Julian Edelman is the one safe option there for the New England Patriots on a weekly basis. You know the guy's going to go out there. He's going to see double-digit targets. I mean, heck, he threw for a touchdown last week. He has all different ways to beat you and score fantasy points. Julian Edelman stays right here at number 10. Number 11 is where you find the free-falling Cooper Kupp at this point of the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Baltimore Ravens Monday Night Football. And they really need to get this guy going. If the Rams are going to make a push towards the playoffs, they really need to get Cooper Kupp and Todd Gurley the ball more often. Gurley already saw that season high in touches last week. They need to force the ball towards Cooper Kupp this week. Got him at wide receiver 11. Number 12, Kenny Golladay, Detroit Lions, going up against the Washington Redskins, so a great matchup for Kenny Golladay. Had a poor week last week. Looking for him to bounce back this way in a big way. Got him at wide receiver 12. Number 13, DJ Moore, Carolina Panthers, going up against the New Orleans Saints. Still unclear whether Marshawn Lattimore plays for sure on Sunday. If he does not, that really opens up the possibility for DJ Moore to continue this streak of being a solidified wide receiver 2. Have him right now wide receiver 13. 14, Allen Robinson, Chicago Bears, going up against the New York Giants. Great matchup for Allen Robinson. He has performed a little bit better in the past with Chase Daniel under center. We still don't know who the quarterback is going to be, but regardless, solid matchup here this week. In my opinion, I'd rather see Chase Daniel at this point. We see Mitch Trubisky out there just looking completely lost and underutilizing Allen Robinson. Force feed the guy the ball in a great matchup right here. Got him at wide receiver 14. 15, Cortland Sutton, Denver Broncos, going up against the Buffalo Bills in a difficult matchup, being matched up with Tre'Davious White, who's one of the top corners in all of football. However, Cortland Sutton has been one of the safest and most consistent wide receivers here in 2019. A solid wide receiver 2. Have him locked in right here, wide receiver 15. 16, Jarvis Landry, Cleveland Browns. Already talked about this matchup going up against the Miami Dolphins. And Jarvis Landry, as of late, has been the safer and better option in Cleveland than Odell Beckham. Is he absolutely blowing the doors off with production? No, but he's scored touchdowns in multiple games now, and he's definitely somebody who has that safer floor on a weekly basis, having that wide receiver 16. 17, all the way up in the teens, Jameson Crowder, New York Jets. He's got a great matchup going up against the Oakland Raiders, and he's somebody who, as of late, has been one of the top targets in this offense for the New York Jets. Sam Darnold is looking his way, and he's finally starting to score some touchdowns, which really raises that ceiling on a weekly basis. Got Jameson Crowder at 17. 18 is going to be John Brown. Tough matchup against the Broncos and Chris Harris. However, if Chris Harris has been vulnerable anywhere this year, it's been on the deep ball. Where does John Brown excel? The deep ball. Hopefully Josh Allen can get a little bit of touch on a few of those deep passes, because John Brown could reel one of them in, have another solid day, have him at wide receiver 18. Number 19, Tyrell Williams, Oakland Raiders, going up against the Jets. Great matchup for him. He is somewhat touchdown dependent. He's not seeing huge volume. However, in this matchup, I can see him scoring that touchdown and giving you that safe floor this week. Got him at wide receiver 19. Number 20, Michael Gallup, Dallas Cowboys, going up against the New England Patriots. A very difficult matchup, but if Belichick does anything, he tries to take away your best players. If they're really focused on Zeke and Amari Cooper, that could leave some extra spots for Michael Gallup. Randall Cobb is another name that a lot of people want to know about. He's definitely somebody who could kind of fit into that 28, 29, 30 category. He's been playing great as of late. Just kind of one of these games where you don't want to put too many weapons up against one of these elite defenses and then get burned here all the way in week 12. So Michael Gallup right now, wide receiver 20. 21, Marvin Jones, Detroit Lions. Talked about this matchup with Kenny Golladay. Great matchup going up against the Washington Redskins. He may not have the volume that Kenny Golladay sees, but the touchdown upside is still there for Marvin Jones. He's definitely a red zone threat and somebody that they're looking for, down the field once again. Just because Matthew Stafford hasn't been under center doesn't mean that Jeff Driscoll can't go out there and fling the ball. He's been playing decent for it being Jeff Driscoll. Marvin Jones still has a solid floor. Got him at wide receiver 21. 22, Golden Tate, New York Giants. And there's a chance that Sterling Shepard is back this week with Darius Slayton and Golden Tate there. Which one of these guys is really the one that we want to play? Golden Tate, in my opinion, is the safest option of all of them. I don't see them rushing Sterling Shepard back in a lost season just to go out there and get the guy hurt again. Darius Slayton was playing great, but I think he loses some of that target share to Sterling Shepard. The safest option, Golden Tate here, going up against the Chicago Bears. Tough matchup. Got him at wide receiver 22. 23 is Amari Cooper, Dallas Cowboys, and I know, I'm pissing off all the Cowboys fans. I get it. However, Amari Cooper, is not 100% healthy, and he gets a very difficult matchup this week of the New England Patriots going up against Stephon Gilmore, one of the top cornerbacks in all of football. If the guy is not 100% healthy, kind of look for him to have a little bit more of a decoy role, kind of like we saw last week. The upside is always there for Amari Cooper, but he's very touchdown dependent this week, and so you got to be a little bit careful. Have him as a back half wide receiver 2 at wide receiver 23. 24 is Curtis Samuel of the Carolina Panthers going up against the New Orleans Saints. Somebody who's not going to see that volume that DJ Moore is going to see to give him that safety, and that's why he's a little bit lower in the rankings. However, the touchdown upside is really there for Curtis Samuel on a weekly basis. It seems like DJ Moore gets them down the field, and then Curtis Samuel is the one that they kind of look for in the end zone in the passing game when they're not including Christian McCaffrey. So with that touchdown upside, got him right here at number 24 in a game that they're going to have to throw for all 4 quarters. 25, James Washington. This one's kind of dependent on who plays in this game also. I mean, there's a chance that Deontay Johnson plays. It sounds like Juju may not. Does James Conner play? If there's a bunch of weapons missing in this offense, James Washington could actually find himself a little bit higher up these rankings. Deontay Johnson has returned to practice, and that's why he's a few spots lower. But until we actually find out for sure who's playing, James Washington right now, wide receiver 25. 26 is our boy, hashtag fantasy Bigfoot, Devante Parker, Miami Dolphins, going up against the Cleveland Browns. A decent matchup for Devante Parker, somebody who is the clear number 1 option in this offense, and Ryan Fitzmagic is forcing him the ball every single week. Can he burn you? Yes. Is he consistent? When you start to trust him, it's when he really screws you over. But however, all signs are pointing to this being a decent game. Have Devante Parker at 26. 27, Terry McLaurin, Washington Redskins, going up against the Detroit Lions. Don't love this matchup. More than likely, he'll be paired up with Darius Slay. We know Dwayne Haskins has struggled getting the ball to him at times in the past, and this team really struggles with penalties. I think Terry McLaurin, constantly has a big play called back with a holding call or some other type of penalty. However, the talent is still there. The touchdown upside is still there. Have him at wide receiver 27. 28 is Deebo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers, going up against the Green Bay Packers, and this one really dependent on the injury concerns of the San Francisco 49ers. Does George Kittle come back this week? Does Emmanuel Sanders play a full game this week? That's a big question mark in this offense, because if they're not there, more targets, more volume going towards Deebo Samuel. It does sound like Sanders and Kittle are back at practice, so there's a chance that they do play. If that's the case, that's kind of why I have Deebo Samuel down at 28. If those guys were to sit, he would be in the late teens, all the way up there, probably 17, 18, 19 range. Kind of need to wait and find out who's actually active this weekend for the San Francisco 49ers. But for right now, wide receiver 28. 29 is N'Keal Harry, New England Patriots, going up against the Dallas Cowboys with Mohamed Sanu more than likely sidelined for a couple of weeks. I believe that N'Keal Harry is going to get his chance here. And a lot of people want to say, hey, you know what? He's a rookie. He's not going to get much of an opportunity. Yeah, well, they spend an early round draft pick on this kid, and he is a big-time playmaker and a red zone threat, something that they definitely need in this offense now. And he's somebody who could take advantage of that on a weekly basis. N'Keal Harry, got him at 29. 30, DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Josh Gordon could eat into some of the usage here of DK Metcalf. However, so far, DK Metcalf has more of a solidified role in this offense, and Russell Wilson looks for him deep down the field, somewhere where Philadelphia has struggled here in the early parts of the season. DK Metcalf, in my opinion, has some big touchdown upside, just a little bit touchdown dependent. Have him at wide receiver 30. All right, those are my top 30 wide receivers here for Week 12 fantasy football. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Would love to hear your opinions. Now, more than likely, we probably don't agree 100%, and that's okay. We're not supposed to. If we did, these shows would be super boring to watch. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section, but just because we don't agree doesn't mean that one of us is wrong as of yet. The games haven't been played. We're trying to help people set lineups. I'm not up here trying to tell people what to do. Maybe you see something a little bit differently, and those added perspectives only make us all a little bit better. So make sure you leave those comments down below. We greatly appreciate the support. Hopefully everybody had a great week, a great weekend coming up, and we'll talk to you later.